You're tuned into news across the galaxy where they talk all things LA Galaxy with the Nag Boys. Let's start nagging.
Just like when they said the Lakers couldn't do it in 2010 and 2011, and when the Galaxy couldn't do it in 2011 and 2012. We're going back to back with not much to talk about, and we're gonna make something out of nothing, just like the Galaxy's trying to do. Welcome to back-to-back episodes of News Across the Galaxy in 2024.
Hey! Wah, wah, wah. Chewy.
Chewy, come on, folks. Do your fucking job.
Making sure everything works.
Chewy's is still in 2023 form.
Damn.
Terrible.
Damn it, I can't even see myself.
Good. As always, actually, I fucked it up. Welcome to News Across the Galaxy, where we talk all things LA Galaxy. My name is Eddie. As always, to my left,
You're right.
Now, how long have we been doing the show?
Who knows, to be honest?
6 years? Let's call it 6 years.
I want to say 7. This is going to be our 7th.
All right. My 7-year hetero
Platonic
podcast partner, Brian.
Hetero's questionable.
I mean, on this side, yes. On that side.
Well, the way we get along. I mean, what?
Edgar over there live from wherever the hell he is. What's up, Edgar?
NAC Studio East, baby. I'm over here. What's up, everybody?
And very, very special guest. Thank you for being here. The original Traffico Radio. And not to be confused with Russell Crowe, the original LA Confidential, Mr. Head and Shoulders, Mr. Iconic Hair, Mike Gray. Mike Gray, welcome to the show.
And a delightful human being. He's delightful.
Mr. Head and Shoulders. Wow. Well, I gotta say, there's two NAG studios. There's a main NAG studio, then NAG East. Is that it?
Yeah, we have a NAG East now.
You guys are raking in the cash, man. I mean, I'm gonna plug these guys' podcasts. They have way over 1,000 subscribers now. So, we're not on YouTube tonight, are we?
Yeah,
probably we're not.
Yeah.
Oh, we are. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, in other words, if you're listening right now, can you guys please give the NAG Boys a few bucks? They need it. I just got done selling them on the idea that they need to have a neon NAG News like neon sign. Just right here. Are we gonna have it in like white or maybe blue, white, and gold? Or
we could actually talk about what it is.
Why not all of them?
In all
we
the
get
colors.
enough money. Come on, cough it up, cheapskates.
Cop it up.
Galaxy fans.
Now, in case you're wondering, it's the little dollar sign right next to your, right next to your where you type.
Super chat, baby. Super chat.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That's what we were waiting for that one.
Nah, again, thank you, Mike, for coming on. Man of his word. You know, you've done so much for the Galaxy, and honestly, I was a little surprised when you hit us up on Twitter. I was like, oh hell yeah! I think we're very humbled because we don't really
get hit up for to come on the show.
Yeah, so that was very.
Oh, get out of here! I was being thoroughly entertained. I had a few of these. I was having a blast, then just nice IPA, to be honest. But yeah, then Bryant was nice enough to invite me on. Then I was just kind of like, do it, and I was like, I hope he doesn't notice. Just because I love the show, but I'm also lazy. So I mean, I had that going on, but then I got the call, and I was like, all right, I'm so excited because, like I was saying off camera, this podcast is so full of personality. I get caught in a lull of just listening to you guys, and then someone will just have a zinger, and I'm like, so, man, like I gotta, I don't know, should I say some generic bullshit about the Galaxy community and blah blah blah? The fact of the matter is, you guys are great, and I've been wanting to come on here for a long time, and let's have some fun.
Yeah, well, thank you again. We are humbled and we're actually grateful to have an actual professional, aside from Edgar, join Eddie and myself to talk smack about, our favorite team that sometimes makes me want to jump off a bridge.
With that being said, let's get unprofessional.
Let's get it.
All right. So we're gonna start off with we're gonna start off with this, and the way the things went and the way everything read was kind of weird, kind of sus, as the kids say. And if you know anything and you can't expand on it, it's fine, Mike. But the whole Jovan Karofsky and LA Galaxy part ways was kind of out of nowhere.
Big news, to be honest.
And it was kind of like one of those like saying in passing kind of conversations, and because it was very minimal. There was no Jovan graphic. There was just the fucking basic font. It was, but of course the Galaxy Twitter community and everyone blew it up. But I think for your your everyday, like I visit the Galaxy website kind of fan, it was kind of just swept under the rug, and it's kind of weird how it all went down. I don't know how you guys felt, but I felt like it was just, this should be bigger than what it actually was. The way it was put out, I think it was bigger than what the Galaxy made it seem to be. Sorry.
So,
well, it was like it was one sentence, and from the beginning, the whole thing's shrouded in mystery because, first of all, was he fired? Was he let go? Did they actually part ways? Like, that's a mystery. The timing of it in early January suggests that maybe his contract just simply ran out. But when you look at the fact that there was no personal anything, even with Klein, I can tell you right now that Chris Klein was loved in the organization, to the point where, yes, when he was like, it was tragic. I mean, there's people in the Galaxy community that were actually close to him, and at the end of the day, as frustrating as he was a very solid human being. I mean, even I said a lot of bad things about him, and then the one time that I really spoke to him for 5 to 10 minutes, like, he was a total gentleman. He congratulated me on my promotion with the Striker and the Striker move in LA. Like, he's a good guy, but. And you saw that reflected when he was like, "Oh, with Karofsky, I had someone on Twitter who told me, like, when he got let go, like, I've never even seen this dude at the stadium, and I've been going to games for like a decade, and I've never even seen what this guy looks like." And that's kind of the story of Karofsky. He was always very behind the scenes. Yeah, we heard about his rare successes, when he was able to pluck Zlatan, for example. But at the end of the day, it's tough to speculate because we don't know anything. But if I were to take an educated guess, I would say that when they made the restructuring of the FO last year and they split the soccer operations and the business operations, and they brought in Will Kuntz, it became very obvious where the deadwood was in the organization. Mm-hmm. That's just my educated guess. But I'm telling you right now, Will Kuntz was below Karofsky, and he gets above Karofsky, and then Karofsky's let go. So you can just kind of make your own assumptions based off of what happened.
Before we go forward, though, I will say this. I heard what you said about, like, you never see the guy, he's more behind the scenes kind of guy. And I was always under this impression. He's a special American player because of the way he came up to the ranks, right, in soccer. So for me, the way I looked at it, it's not my checks getting written, right? So for me, it's a guy that, whether we kept it or not, it wouldn't bother me because I think he's the kind of guy that if he calls you, you answer. At least, right? The Zlatan deal doesn't happen without him.
Yeah.
I don't think the Chicha deal happens without him either because we all found out about Chicha. We all confirmed Chicha was coming because he posted his IG in Spain. So, on his IG that he was in Spain. So, for me, it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, we lost him. it sucked. But I wouldn't have mind keeping him because his kids look up this word if you have to. If you have to, his Rolodex is pretty deep.
It's roller decks. Well, and then,
Hey,
before you go on, let me just say something that kind of counters that of what Kowalski brought to the Galaxy. It worked for us before, bringing in big names, bringing in big stars, and he was the guy you will answer to. MLS has gone away from that for most of the recent success of other teams like a Seattle, Atlanta. They've gone away from that model. You bring in a Kuntz who build the team with the new model, and you got to take this guy out. We haven't been successful with the, hey, answer Karofsky's call model for a while, since 2014. So you had to get this stench of loser from the LA Galaxy out, even if it came at the cost of a person who has brought us players that has brought us championships.
Well, that's actually my thing too, the stench. Yeah, it's true.
Edgar?
yeah, a couple things. I actually had a sit-down interview with him when I was writing for Yanks Abroad way back in 2013, and we talked about what his role with the club was. At the time, he was very heavily involved in the academy, and he was talking about, you know, what the academy did for the LA Galaxy and how they were looking to structure it, and how all that worked. Mind you, this conversation was 11 years ago, so I don't remember specifics, but I do remember talking to him, and he seemed like a pretty run of the mill front office guy. And I've talked to several front office people throughout the years. I've been covering Galaxy since '97, so there's nothing about him that really struck me like, oh, okay, he's a guy working. As far as his career is concerned, I did follow his career. I know that he didn't get a chance to play with Manchester United proper because of work permit issues, but I actually, when you look back, and I know a lot of people, might be like, "Damn, Edgar, that's pretty messed up." I just kind of feel like he was in the right place at the right time, and the whole thing with the Champions League thing, he just happened to be there. He had no part in that. He just happened to be there. He's like taking up a roster spot. He just happened to be on the club.
No,
And he
hold on. I'll
and
counter
he
that right
put that in
there
his
real
resume.
quick, because especially in those times, you were better off being in the training squad of those teams than
No.
MLS, the starting lineup.
No, obviously, yeah, but it's just he got to start there. But what happened after that? He bounced around all over Europe. Never really stuck around anywhere in particular. He just kind of bounced around, and eventually, when he couldn't really cut it in Europe, he ended up coming back to the U.S. playing in MLS, and this is where he had his longest stints. I know some people will be like, "Oh, the same thing happened with Landon Donovan," but are you really going to compare Landon Donovan to Jovan Karofsky? No, absolutely not. All right, they didn't have the same cultural impact or even the same kind of impact that they did in U.S. soccer. But as far as being an MLS executive, he did a lot of stuff that a lot of people really didn't know. I mean, a lot of people, unless you watch The Simpsons, right, like religiously, a lot of people really don't know what Homer Simpson does, right? Mm-hmm. He's a drone in Sector 7G, right? But what does he do? It's the same thing with Karofsky. Like, what the hell did he do, right? What did he really, really do after all these years? When I met him, like I said, he was involved with the academy, but after all these years, what was his actual role? And but then you start hearing all the rumblings, right? There was that interview with Dennis DeClosa, and he's talking about how he was trying real hard to bring Santi Jimenez to the LA Galaxy, and what was that?
Aliens.
And
Aliens. I knew
yeah, he's coming for me.
The FBI.
It's Cosmo. Aliens coming.
And and then you hear that somebody in the front office were like, no. We'd rather sell kits.
Here's the funny thing. Actually,
jerseys.
I'm a touch on the Homer Simpson thing, right?
Go for it.
What did he do, right? He saved Springfield. They didn't fire him. They let him sleep, because when you need him to any, meeny, miny, mo, he picks the right one. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, if you're that's pretty deep. If you're a Simpsons fan, he
Hey.
saved Springfield.
Hey, bro.
I'd rather have Homer though working in the Galaxy front office than Jovan
Oh,
Cranston.
come on now. Somebody on the chat, William, my brother Lobos.
Nag boy fool.
He
Nag
said-
boy fool.
Yeah, Nag Boy. He's right. Unfortunately, Karofsky is just collateral damage. We want to move forward. You bring in a new guy with Coons. He, like Mike Gray said, he went above Karofsky, and he wants his new clean slate and bringing in the people that he wants. It's the nature of the business.
Yeah, and I was telling Mike before we got on, I was like, you're Will Kuntz. You wanna build the team. You wanna bring people around you that you can delegate to, or that you can trust to do certain things for you, without saying, oh well, in my time, this is how we ran things. Like no. We got to do things differently because the way it's been running hasn't really panned out the way we wanted it to. So now it's okay to move on and do things differently. But the one thing that is still so strange is right the way it came down. Like Mike said, one sentence, right? There was no opportunity to, hey, thanks Galaxy family and fans for your support all these years. No, there was no video, no pictures, no autographed, message saying goodbye, thanks for everything. No, it was just like he showed up to work one day and they had all his stuff in a box and told him, yep, bye.
How'd you get fired on your day off?
Controversy time.
And they're like,
Controversy
like your keys, your key lock doesn't work to get in the building anymore. Bye.
Yes,
It's like we had your car towed.
Eddie.
Bye.
Controversy.
A controversy time.
Controversy.
Before I say what I have to say, Mike, anything else on Jovan? Because this is gonna stir the pot.
Oh no. I mean, you were talking, Edgar, about talking Karofsky a decade ago and all sorts of things about the academy. Well, let's look even now. To be honest, and I don't even think this is a hot take. We can talk about the Galaxy and how they failed to produce players in, a city that's really like a hotbed for talent. But LA still has yet to produce their first homegrown star. Let's just look at the number, or we'll just go back and look at the players. Julian Araujo. I would argue that Barcelona, the academy over in Arizona, by the time that he came to the Galaxy, he was, he was a G2 player who was on the verge of making it to the first team. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but it annoyed the hell out of me that that GBS was sitting there playing Rolf Felcher over and over again when he had a Barcelona player sitting right over there on the bench. But that's not someone who showed up at the club at 12 years old and then they worked their way up to becoming a star. The Union can do that. There's, I'd say, half a dozen teams that are just excellent, elite at producing talent. And, forget producing talent. We haven't done that once. And I think the big issue is, even with, there's been some news lately, and there's been a lot of positive news, right? We have Brandon Tellez sold the Chivas for $100,000, and then you have Alex Alcala, who Manchester City purchased the option when he, and now he's going to be probably loaned to another team. But that was a deal that was made back in 2020, the Manchester United deal with Alex Alcala. And then you look at Brandon Tellez, and yes, that's progress. But I think that we're only halfway there because you can sell players, and that's fine. What's missing from the Galaxy is the pipeline. We don't have players who are 17, 18, who are just hungry, and then they're being given first team minutes because they've earned them. Even now, Jalen is like the one exception of a player who was in the academy, and then he worked his way up, and then part of the issue is trying to have the perception of the Galaxy and what we're about here versus sort of the perception of the club from a national perspective. In LA, everyone loves Jalen Neal. He's going to be a future star. When you listen to the national pundits, they're more skeptical. It's more, they ask questions like, uh, can he, can he take a step in terms of his physicality? You know, um, Personally, I think there's a lot to his game that I love. I think that the Galaxy last year really missed his breaking line passes and his, attacking ability. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think that I'm out of line by saying this, or do you think that
About
the
Jalen?
Galaxy are making full?
I can talk about
No, no,
Jalen.
no.
Hold on.
Jalen's awesome,
Hold on.
obviously, but
Go ahead. Sorry.
I mean,
But the
Hold on.
one thing I
let
will say about Jalen,
hold on.
it's
Were
like,
you finish what you're saying? Like, or question?
oh no, do you think that the youth development with the LA Galaxy, is it something that's on the rise? Is it something that still needs some work? What's you guys take?
I'll go first.
okay, go for it.
Because I think me and Brian more than both of us. Brian could have been a star.
But like every great uncle who played soccer,
Yeah.
I fucked my knee up.
Nah. it's just there's nothing there for us. We actually had a friend too. We'll go on name. We know who we're both talking about.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like he had to pay to make his way out there. He got close.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think it's like, because there's, especially like Cali and LA, it's just like, we're like, what, if Cali was a country, we're like the sixth most populated country or something like that.
They're the fifth most powerful economy in the world.
Yeah, so until that changes, then yeah, we don't, the Galaxy can't do it. That's a city. They can't do it. Not even a city. It's very what's the word I'm here?
You know,
you know what I'm trying to say? Very niche.
let me,
you know,
let me make that point. Let me make that point I forgot to make a second ago. The thing with Alcala, it's kind of just shows where the Galaxy are at. A club from England. Wait.
You got this, Mike.
You got
We
it.
believe in you.
Oh, all of a sudden I'm not on the thing anymore. All right.
Uh-oh. Damn.
Uh-oh.
Net zero. It's freezing.
Net zero's failing.
I'll say what I was going to say real quick,
Yeah.
and hopefully Mike can hear me. I mean, I think he froze, but the thing about Jalen that I repeat, and I've repeated several times, is that we love, like he said, we love Jalen. We've seen him come up in the academy. You know, the relationship with his mom and his family. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, right? It's very rare. It's almost unheard of to find that in professional sports across the United States. I mean, where else have you seen something like this? If you follow other sports, it's very rare. But anyway, when I was in Charlotte last year to watch the U.S. play Trinidad in the Gold Cup, and Jalen was announced, the crowd gave him a really good pop. So I mean, people are starting to take notice of what he does. I've compared him to a young Eddie Pope.
Eddie Pope. Yep.
I think Eddie Pope is was a fantastic, legendary defender, not just in MLS but for U.S. soccer. Um, and I see Jalen can have a solid career just like that. And the one thing that it is strange, and Mike touched on that, is that when you think about LA Galaxy and you think about LA being what it is, right, as far as a football hotbed, why don't we have a stronger academy like FC Dallas? I mean, you think about MLS Academy, you immediately think of FC Dallas. You think of Philadelphia Union, right? And now, like other clubs are starting to establish their own academy systems and starting to get strong. With
That's
Galaxy, I can tell you, way back in 1998, when I was still playing myself, I was a member of the Galaxians, and we played in a tournament. We played an actual like tournament that was sanctioned by CONCACAF, I remember, and we made it to the final. I remember that year there were CONCACAF scouts there, and I remember thinking to myself, "Wow, this is incredible. I'm playing at this tournament. All these people from different regions of CONCACAF are here scouting this tournament." And it goes to the whole thing where there are so many fingers in LA, right? We have teams from Liga MX and Central and South America that are watching all the young talent coming out here, especially people that are second generation or even third generation from Latin America. And then on top of that, you have the kids that one day dream of playing in Europe. How does LA Galaxy get their cut of the pie in there, or even LAFC, right? Since they're in town as well. How do you get in there and elbow your way in there and be like, hey, this is our territory, this is our town? And it's not like pro wrestling, right, where Vince McMahon shoulder his way into a territory and forced his program, his system. You can't do that in soccer and MLS football. So Galaxy has that to battle. They have to
Actually,
battle against other teams.
Actually, no. The wrestling and Vince McMahon thing is actually the perfect thing because wrestling in certain states, as we know, it's bigger, and in California, it's not. That's what I'm saying. That's why the Galaxy. Because Mike's question was the Galaxy, right? You didn't ask California. You didn't ask LAFC. You asked the Galaxy. It's so niche. It's such a niche. Such a niche market that you have to take over. It's hard to develop those players when you're asking for money. You're asking them like Julian Araujo is like your one prime example. Before that, you're like, all right, show me what else you've done. Like here are accolades. Oh, your son can make hundreds of dollars. Like what can you show these parents, right? At the end of the day, they're the ones paying to play.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, this is one of the models that just U.S. soccer in general needs to get away from, where how they have it structured, like in Spain or England, where you bring in kids that have the talent. Dude, you gonna tell me Los Angeles is not gonna have the talent to bring in some of the greatest footballers probably in the world? You just aren't able to go out and pay those kids, which is what they do in basketball, football, and baseball.
And this is the question I would have for Mike, because I have my opinion. I want your opinion. So, ask the Galaxy to pull back the curtain a bit, right? We've seen the fields they're making, right? We've seen the one that Jalen did. We saw the one Beckham did a long time ago. It's like, what's the end game for these? Are these people we're going to watch? And if they're good enough, we're going to invite them for free? And does that work? Right? Like, Jalen's is the closest to an urban city where, that's where mostly athletes come from. Why it works that way, we don't know. But it does. Right? The urban kids are where most pro athletes come from. So, again, do you think that formula is going to be like a sales pitch, or do you think a long game is going to be we discover there's actually people watching? Oh yeah, you're playing in that field and you're great. Come get him.
I think it's baby steps. I mean, guys, the big kahuna is going to be in 2026 when the World Cup comes to town. Think about how big the World Cup was in 1994 when this was not a soccer country and no one gave a shit about the sport here. And then it just exploded, and all of a sudden kids across America were like, oh, before there was MLS, there's kids who wanted to be like Kobe Jones and Alexi Lawless and John Harkes and Tony Miola with the cool hair. And back in the day when all the soccer stars had cool hair. But you're cool damn hair. Right. It's I really like that you brought that up because, it's hard to escape your culture. We live in America, right? What do we worship in America? The almighty dollar. And you see that impulse to just make money off of something. And that's how we tackle soccer in this country. How can we make money off it? MLS teams, wow, they're almost worth $1 billion. We measure. We have these weird metrics, and we're getting better. And like I said, it's baby steps. The 2026 World Cup's gonna be so fucking huge. If we can get to a semifinal, you're gonna have like the
wait. Make it to a semi.
We're gonna win that. Yeah. What do you mean?
Dude. You haven't gone to sleep yet and seen Christian Pulisic raising the trophy?
The U.S. is gonna win the 2026 World Cup.
Oh, hold on. Our Mexican national team correspondent wants to say something over here. He's afraid to admit that they have a better chance. Say it first.
That we have a better chance?
The U.S. has a better chance.
Of course.
Thank you. Thank you,
Mexican correspondent.
It's not going to be Christian Pulisic, bro.
Oh, Gio Reyna.
No.
Tyler Adams.
No.
Who else was the U.S. captain?
Tim Weah.
No,
It's Tyler Adams.
it's not gonna be the U.S.
La Selecta. Let's fucking
Hold on.
go.
Let me ask you a question. If it was the U.S., who's gonna be the captain? Who's gonna lift it?
Wait, what happened?
If the U.S. won the World Cup, who's gonna be the captain? Who's gonna lift the trophy? Say it. If the U.S. won the World Cup, so and so's gonna lift the trophy.
Tyler Adams.
Say it though. If
If the U.S. were to win the World Cup, Tyler Adams would be the one lifting the trophy, even though they're not.
all right, Chewy, you have enough to crop what he said without. Nah, right? Damn, you're a sucker, fool.
Hey guys, I was gonna talk. I was gonna follow up on what Mike said.
Yeah. go for it.
Because he was talking about how like a lot of people were inspired by World Cup '94, and how not just the tournament, but how the U.S. did. Now, look at the guys that were on that team, the U.S. team, and I can speak on that because like I'm a big U.S. soccer history buff, and a lot of those guys that were on that team were guys that were inspired by the NASL in the '70s. Now, the crop of players that came together for that World Cup, there was a stark contrast between two different types of players that were on that team. There were, like Mike said, there's pay to play guys that could afford to play for big academies, like guys like Kobe Jones, Eric Winalda, Alexi Lalas. These are people that had the money to pay for big academies, and that's how they got their foot in the door with U.S. soccer back in the day. And then you had the guys that came from the street. And I'm talking about the guys that came from Kearney, New Jersey, I'm sorry. Guys like Tony Mayola, guys like, oh my God, all the boys from Kearney,
That's the point, fool.
the boys from Jersey. They used to play street ball in inside cages, and they were so good that they were playing on traveling teams that go around and demolish all the teams in the area, that they were almost impossible to ignore. And so eventually they were picked up by U.S. Soccer. So when they brought in the camp, you had guys that were very well to do, mixed with guys that were from like the hood, and it took a while for them to mesh, but they made it work. And in World Cup '94, a lot of these guys, made it work, and they became popular. But, that's the thing. The guys from New Jersey, they were so good that they were impossible to ignore. And if somehow we were to get the attention of people from the inner city, right? I'm talking about black kids. If you can get the attention of a black kid who one day dreams to be playing in the NBA or the NFL, and it's really hard to make it in the NFL because they don't have guaranteed contracts. Number one. And number two, it's extremely hard to make it in the NBA because they have such small rosters. If a lot of these kids can grow up watching U.S. soccer or MLS, and they see it as something which is not just a side sport or something that you do for AYSO, but something that could be viable in their life. Maybe one day they'll choose to be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go be a soccer player. Now, this is the last thing I'm gonna say about this. I have a friend from way back in junior high, middle school, who grew up playing American football. He was a Georgia State Player of the Year. He ended up playing for Notre Dame, but he never really got a shot in the NFL. But here's what's happening with him. He lives in Atlanta now, and he has two kids. They are in the Atlanta United Academy, and one of them, his name is Ivory Covington. This kid is going to end up playing MLS soccer for Atlanta United. His younger brother is also really, really good. And when I asked my friend, like, wow, that's interesting. As long as I remember, you were always playing American football. What happened? He's like, because he goes, I'm not the biggest guy, I'm not the fastest guy, but he goes, and I really wish I had soccer when I was growing up. I wish I had MLS because I would have done that instead of American football. And now I'm making sure my kids get the opportunity to do that because I think that they have the skill and the drive to do it. So it could happen, folks.
Yeah. If
Eddie?
you want to hear more of that, you should have kept. What is it? The Yanks?
Yanks abroad. Oh no! Return of the Yanks.
The Return of the Yanks.
I think we'll have.
Maybe
you and Edgar will have.
Yeah, maybe leading up to the World Cup, we'll come back. But
because there's some truth to what he's saying. But back to the question that Eddie had for my gray No,
No. We're gonna move forward a little bit.
okay, cool.
All right. You guys want more controversy?
More controversy,
And
sir.
back
Please.
to the whole Jovan thing.
Yes.
So I have this crazy thought. Crazy.
You're
Gotta
crazy.
share it with us.
Yeah, right? Crazy.
Like your face.
So remember, the whole Jovan thing was one sentence, right? Oh, Mike's wiping his face like he knows something. I feel like he does know something. You don't have to say it if you don't want to.
If you're not allowed to, don't.
Yeah, so many reports about a new signing, a record-breaking signing, and everything, and this shit was literally like just came to me. And what if the Gabriel Peck deal fell through?
Because they haven't announced them officially.
Yeah, it's like it's so official. It's like very official, and I don't know if he wants me to mention them, but good friend of the show, I won't say his name, pointed out something I didn't fucking realize that Tom Bourget, whatever, however you say his name, is a Galaxy hater. I didn't know that. And
Bogart.
all of a sudden, it got quiet with the Galaxy. He decided to start reporting. Right, and that became a little suspicious. One side, I noticed that it was like, haha, I'm gonna do it now. So it's not gonna happen, guys.
Nah, I don't know about that. Don't be throwing out that.
Hey, it's controversy.
It is controversy.
It's not real. It's just
But
as
the
we say
point-
here. it's just-
the point that you're
what's the saying here?
doing this
What's
controversy.
the- what's the
It's all feelings, no facts.
Yeah.
That's what we do here. But the point now is to try to hype up the LA Galaxy community, not bring them down by saying,
I
"Oh,
know
you know
that,
what?
but no,
this
it
still
was-
fell through."
It was like they sat down, they wrote shit down on a napkin. You can't sign on a napkin, you know. It just.
Says who? Says who?
I'm just saying.
You can sign on napkins.
What if obviously not a napkin, that's an exaggeration.
Yeah.
But what if that was it? Like two agents and men together. Let's just say for whatever Jovan was our representative. And this is all right. And MLS and Galaxy actually Galaxy, because I don't follow MLS that closely. But in Galaxy history, in my opinion, this is the longest dragging finalized, almost done deal.
And a big signing.
And it's a record breaking deal.
Yeah.
I mean, did you guys forget about the whole Beckham thing? It
No,
didn't happen
no,
overnight.
that doesn't count. That's Beckham. That doesn't count.
Beckham is Beckham.
That happened
Beckham gets like a
overnight,
year.
Gabriel-
Yeah, dude, that,
Gabriel Peck is not Beckham.
yeah. Nobody's Beckham.
Look,
Yeah.
look,
Let's
look.
be honest. Nobody's Beckham. Cristiano is the closest to Beckham, but he's not even half of Beckham.
Damn.
No. I'm just gonna say like when you go in and you spend all this money on this player from South America, and you want to take your time to make sure you dot all the I's, and you make sure you got everything in place, and you make sure that you get the hype machine going and get the videos and all the recordings and everything that you need so that when you bring them out, everything goes smooth. Remember, they have to figure out where he's gonna live. They have to figure out, how to move his family over if he wants to do that. All these other things that are happening behind the scenes. So all this stuff doesn't happen just overnight. Make sure his work visa's in there, everything, right, Mike? That kind of all that stuff that happens behind the scenes. And then not only that, if they're gonna package this kid right, and because he's the biggest signing in Galaxy history, you got to make sure you have a nice video package or whatever it is going to be to make sure that people understand that this is the next big thing. What do you think, Mike?
I agree. Give me 2 seconds. I just want to confirm it. I'm looking it up. I do believe that Baxter reported it 3 days. Oh, excuse me, 10. All right, he reported it 4 days ago that the deal was done. Eddie, that was a rather, what's the word? Dude, that was a rather observant thought process. But I'm not sure I can buy your well-crafted narrative, as impressive as it was. All right, you said behind the scenes. Yeah. So 4 days ago, it was finalized. I tried talking to the Galaxy about something random midweek. They've been in Miami most of this week dealing with Media Day. And then you have the weekend. You're not going to announce Peck on a Saturday or a Sunday because who gives a shit, right? At the very least, you're going to wait until Monday. Players reported for physicals on Saturday. Yeah, there's just a shitload of stuff going on. So I can see how maybe now if we could go another week and nothing's announced, something's fucking up. That's for sure. But Monday or Tuesday, I would expect either an announcement or just more whispers about like he's going to show up like in LA on Thursday or something like that. We'll hear more next week. And
They
if we
show up
don't,
to a
then-
Lakers game or something like that.
oh yeah, that's the unofficial like showing up for a Lakers game.
Well, it kind of
Maybe-
isn't because you remember
fuck Caleb
Caleb Porter was at a Galaxy at a Laker game.
Oh,
and
Hey,
he
for the
did
record,
not.
Mike, I hate Caleb Porter.
I know you do. And you know what happened when he signed with Columbus? He got him a title.
He did no. Mike, this
But he's
is
such
an
a-
argument.
he's
This
such
is
a
an
loser,
argument
though.
that me and Brian have. I think
okay.
Greg Berhalter might not be. Well, it's hard because the Mexican coaches. He might be the greatest fit for U.S. soccer,
Nope.
but international coach is really difficult, right? But he's an amazing MLS coach. He handed Caleb Porter that title.
From Columbus.
Yeah, he did. Right? Look, he's nodding. He did. Caleb Porter's a terrible coach.
And
He
he's a
got
winner,
handed
too.
2 titles, basically. I think he did.
Well, Caleb Porter
So when
handed.
Caleb Porter was rumored to the Galaxy, dude, I was like,
You're mad.
we had to
You were
we had to
sticking-
rebuild
actually-
the whole studio
Yeah.
because I would like just destroyed everything. Like if you look back, like a week before Caleb Porter was supposedly signed to now, the studio looks different. 'Cause we
Yeah.
had to, like, do
As soon as that
construction.
shit, Eddie went to Hulk mode. Eddie Smash.
Yeah, no. So anyways, Caleb Porter, your ass, fool.
I just got a text. I got fired from my new gig because I called Caleb Porter a wiener.
That's too much respect from him. That's why they probably fired you.
You and I, buddy. You and I.
Yeah. Nah, Caleb Porter is trash. There's like those bounce around
They
coaches.
got eyes and ears on me, man. You don't even know.
Yeah, Caleb Porter is like your Jason Christ, like your overrated like, coach. Now, I think Marsh is overrated now.
Jesse Marsh is overrated, bro.
I think so too.
Yes, he is.
One dimensional.
Yeah.
Good coach, one dimensional.
That's what we need in the Galaxy. That's what we. Oh, we already had one like that. Oh,
Yeah.
all right, cool.
You know, Vanny might prove himself to be. We can just throw that in right now.
Yeah.
Vanny might be proven to be
Yes.
just one of those guys too, because he had like Wiki in Toronto. He doesn't have like Wiki now.
He has Kuntz.
He
Yeah,
also had Robin Fraser and to help him out, and Robin Fraser doesn't get the respect that he does as far as building teams like that. He certainly didn't get all the help he needed when he was in Colorado.
Yeah. Well,
Nobody
we gave
does.
him Cabral. That was all the help they needed.
that
Rapids, the
was
cheap
that was a solid for Danny, man.
Until Robin Fraser leaves, and the second he leaves, it's like now they have money all of a sudden.
Yeah, now they're spending.
something's brewing over there in Colorado.
Nah.
More than here.
Yeah. I mean,
It's not our Colorado podcast, but it'd be a better podcast if it was this week.
shout
They're,
out to Matt Pollard. What up, bro?
Yeah,
they're-
buddy,
Cool
man.
guy.
they're definitely
Yeah.
cooking over there.
Yeah.
It's and you know what though? I love the league. We all love the league.
Yeah, hell yeah.
These last couple of weeks or this year so far, it's a good time to be a Colorado fan.
Yeah. MLS fan in general.
The funny thing with them is that their season ended with their supporters having massive protests at the stadium. Remember we were talking about that, and Matt was talking about that to us, and it was a topic of discussion where like other MLS supporters, are gonna show visual or vocal support, once the season begins in 2024, but Colorado has actually gone out and they opened up the wallet, and who's the owner there? It's the same guy who owns the Rams and Arsenal. So maybe somebody reminded him, that he owns a little team, out in Commerce City, Colorado. There, he's like, all right, fine. Maybe they got him drunk and they had him, sign a checkbook or something, when he wasn't paying attention.
Perfect timing. Get him drunk.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Let's get Uncle Phil drunk. How about that?
he might
You're
die,
gonna
dude.
be dead in 10 years, buddy. Might as well start spending your money.
You got 2 years? Damn.
Seriously, dude. And hey, you know what? sorry, we keep going off track.
Yeah.
Because I liked this question last week. Spenny was an idiot because he like question marked it, and I hope he's listening right now. Your thoughts, Mike? I don't know if you're familiar with luxury tax in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel
I
about
am.
luxury tax in the MLS?
To add it,
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that would, man, that's another interesting idea. Uh, I think I hate to answer a question with a question, but like, how do we get these cheap owners, like the half of the league that doesn't want to invest? How do we get these guys, like, how do we get them to lift the floor of the league?
Oh, okay.
Because
No, I got an easy answer. So it's
Right.
like, all right, everyone's opinion. Who is the biggest star? The young, not Messi or Ronaldo. Who's the next big star?
you would probably say Mbappe or
Or
Holland.
Haaland?
Yeah.
All right, you sign one
Yeah.
of those, right? You pay the luxury tax, and you see the over on that luxury tax. Hey, the proof is in the pudding, right?
The Lakers have done it.
Hey, but are we forgetting one thing, that MLS owns all the contracts, so
No,
the money stays in the league.
That's why. But if you do luxury tax, you eliminate that, and they could take a small percentage or whatever, and it still pays out. Luxury
But
tax
that's
is going to
the
be this whole other structure
No,
that.
but that's the thing about MLS though. Like the reason all these other small teams, like
Well, actually, no. Hold on. So yeah, that's fine. Where does the luxury tax go? To the league.
Yeah. To
That's
build.
where it
what I'm
goes.
trying to, no, what I'm
hold
trying to
on.
say is like,
But that club makes what's not the luxury tax. So if Colorado, I guess, is the most struggling team, right? And
yeah,
they sign Mbappe or Holland.
And let's say the luxury tax was like 10 mil.
Yeah, imagine that a year. You don't think they'll rake it in?
Yeah. It's with sales.
All of a
Somebody would
sudden,
attend
all of a
every
sudden,
fucking
that
club.
team sees 50 mil a year increase on their jerseys and stuff. They're gonna be like, all right, cool, we'll pay 10 mil euro.
Yeah. That's a, what is it? A 400%
That's what I'm saying.
profit?
That's what I'm saying. Like to me, luxury tax, and it doesn't come all the time. Like it doesn't come every fucking 10 years. Like that player is
Look.
special, right? So, and wherever he wants to live, he chooses because whoever pays the most. To me, I don't know. I like again. This question is for you, Mike. For me, luxury tax would be a dope ass thing to see in this league, especially for soccer. Because I don't think the NBA needs it.
you know what? I think I got to compromise.
Right.
I like the luxury tax, but you gotta raise the salary cap so
Yeah.
that the cheapskate teams don't use the luxury tax as an incentive to just not spend money. But if you
fuck
can
with
raise
that.
the salary cap, I like your idea, man.
Yeah. I kind of fuck with that idea. That'd be cool. Hey, let's hit up
Hold on. Here
Dan
it goes.
Garber.
Let's get
Hey,
more.
first-
Hold on. Let's get
I
more
thought we
creative
were-
then, and we could all say yeah or nay.
All right.
3DPs and a luxury tax spot.
Ooh, that instead of the 4DP.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I like that.
I don't know, man. I'm still not sold on the whole luxury tax thing, because the reason that a luxury tax exists in MLB and in the NBA is to try to discourage the teams that have more money from overspending and raising the bar for everybody else.
What's the
What
difference?
ends up happening? What ends up happening though is that money goes down to the small teams like Minnesota, the Minnesota Twins, for example, or a team like the Oakland A's, right, where they can they can go and do the bare minimum to run their clubs and just be there. But if they really don't invest in their team, what ends up happening? They end up moving. Look at Oakland. The Oakland A's are moving because their owner was such a jerk. He didn't want to invest in the stadium or in the team at all. They have the lowest payroll in all of baseball, and now they're moving to Vegas because he wants to cash in. And then you have like the Dodgers and the Yankees, who are
hold
known
on.
for spending
But
so much.
usually, hold on. This is why I use basketball, because baseball is a
And you-
terrible example. It
And a
is.
terrible sport.
Yeah, it's a terrible example, right? No, because
No, that's-
Oakland A's is a good one. That's actually a really good one.
Moneyball.
Where did and that's actually too good too. Moneyball, mostly draft picks. You hate them. Where did the Warriors play before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oakland.
And then where did they move?
Frisco. Well,
San Francisco.
Yeah,
Francisco.
exactly. Spend the money, and it's there. The proof is in the pudding.
yeah.
That's the point. It's right there. You just you proved it yourself. The Oakland A's fucking owner is going that way because
The
Right.
reason the Warriors got what they are is because they were so bad for so long that they were able to get good draft picks, and they actually stuck around
And
with
how
the
far
team,
did
and
they
they were able to
move?
build
How far did
a
they move?
championship team.
How far did they
They
move?
were origi-
4
they were
titles
originally from San Francisco.
Yeah, but how far did they move?
down the block.
They just moved across the bay.
Yeah, and winning works. So if you spend that money, it's right there in the MLS. Colorado.
This is definitely a subject we could revisit.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
I
not
think,
sold on that. I'm
Yeah.
not sold on the luxury tax at all.
I mean, once
I just think that MLS is a closed system. MLB and the NBA have it because they don't have a closed system. It's like in Formula One. Who wins every time in Formula One?
True.
It's the team that has the most money, the team that spends the most on drivers and technology, and they have the best cars. That's why they always win. The teams in Formula One, they always win because they have the absolute best. Because they can spend the most money. If there was a luxury tax in Formula One, then whenever a team overspends on something, some of the luxury tax money would go down to the teams at the bottom, and then they could afford to go and buy something better than what they could afford now. That's how that works.
There's a salary
MLS,
cap
it's a
in
closed
F1.
system. MLS is a closed system. The league owns everything. They own all the guys that we call owners, they're not real owners. They're investors. They're caretakers for the team. They have to make sure that the stadium, is up to par. They have to make sure that all the employees are getting paid. They have to make sure that they're doing enough to market the team and to make sure that it remains a viable source of income for the league. That's how that works.
a
That's why when you guys say
presentable
a luxury tax for MLS, then owners would be like, why am I going to get penalized for doing a little more than this other guy over here does, and you're penalizing me for trying to make my team better? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this: those F1 drivers have at least 2 DUIs in their record. So
Jesus, you're just driving in circles. All right, you know what? That's actually we're gonna make a whole show about luxury tax.
I know we'll revisit this
Yeah.
this subject. Maybe
Yeah, like we'll bring you back for the luxury tax argument. 'Cause
Yes. All right. Hey, I'm inviting myself back.
let's go through some rumors, right?
I'm just gonna invite myself back next week, just so you guys know. I hope you like it.
No, we will. It's funny. We have a guy here that could be Traffico guy.
oh, Traffico guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on a fucking
Green Hill.
luxury tax F1 kind of thing. Anyways,
Anyway, yeah.
rumors, right?
You
Some
tried.
rumors.
You tried.
I tried. Joseph Payton still.
Yes. Canadian
So,
player.
yes, plays for Club Genk. Genk. He
Genk.
has a 8.5 or 8 million release clause that ends next week, right? He is a prolific right winger. His numbers are
Impressive.
impressive. There's nothing like concrete that he'll come to the Galaxy, and there's rumors that there's other European clubs. And my question, I don't think he'll come here, but I guess it's like, do you guys believe there's any chance that he'll come to the Galaxy? Because for me, I do the eye test. I watch the YouTubes, and yeah, I don't see why we're so like fortunate to have a player like that come here and.
You could have watched him today against Cape Verde.
First, I gotta say, first of all, watching him on YouTube was a big giant pain in the ass because I could kind of watch like Ghana highlights or like Genk highlights, and there would be these 6-minute videos, and every single one of them was like from like a Ghana account that would just copy and paste like photos. So it would say like, "Oh, check out this awesome goal," and you click on it, it's just photos. So that sucks. But no, 17 goals, 11 assists last year for Genk. So he's someone who can both create and find the right pass for another player. Prolific, like you said, prolific right winger. speedy as hell. The release clause can be activated. So as of now, the only issue the Galaxy has is convincing him of the project and coming to personal terms. Uh, like I said, harder watch tape. He did average 0.69 expected goals and assists a game. So he's a guy who's going to produce. And then potentially taking a dude who's a playmaking winger and then combining him with Gabriel Peck on the other side, who's a goal scorer first. And man, that would really be that would be electric. And the pressure would really be on Vanny because this was just my observation, but if you're the Galaxy and you're Will Kuntz heading to this offseason, for me, I thought a really big thing would be to get both DPs in this winter. I know conventional wisdom, or conventional logic in soccer is a thing, but sometimes, we just kind of have to just question, common sense. I mean, think about all the people who are saying, "Oh, you gotta wait. You can only get one, and you gotta wait until the other. You gotta get the other during the summer." And it's like, all right, just think about it logically. You have a player, you have them all season. Then you have a player, and you have them for half a season. Which option's the better option, right? And what we're learning under Will Kuntz is that when you have an office that's as efficient as the Galaxy are in 2023 and 2024 at finding and identifying talent, then you suddenly find yourself in a position where you don't need to wait until the summer because you're already so good you can find both DPs during the winter. And I don't want to turn this segue into a whole Will Kuntz, just appreciation.
Oh, we're gonna get it, Kuntz.
But no, I mean, every single signing he's made has had a purpose. Whether it makes fiscal sense, whether you're filling a position of need. I mean, look at Miki Yamane. Two-time league winner in the J League. He's highly regarded. 11 goals, 24 assists, and 133 appearances. So he's, an attacking right back. And what's the one thing with the Galaxy? None of the players are available. Well, he's played at least 31 games in the last 7 seasons. So this is a dude who's just going to be. You can pencil him in, and he's just going to be available for every game. You feel like a John McCarthy and Miguel Berry. These are two players who are going to fit snugly into the salary cap. Alex was talking about how with the McCarthy signing about how there was going to be a goalkeeper competition. I tend to think of it more as a goalkeeping plan because if everything goes to plan, you're going to sign McCarthy dirt cheap. You're going to have Jonathan Bond, who's making 3-4 times what McCarthy's probably going to make it. So the idea is use him as trade bait. And then, this is where I was talking about perception. Novak Mikovic, we're pretty high on him in LA, but if you listen to the national media, they have questions. They're like, okay, you got this guy who played a few G2 games, played a few Galaxy 1 games, and all of a sudden he's your starter? So, I think that the Galaxy are super solid across the board, but goalkeeper is the one position I might be a little worried about. But dude, we were on Paintsville, man. I can get off. I can go from over here to all the way over here pretty quickly. But yeah, what do you guys think about the sign?
Hold on. Actually, first off, I have a new name for you.
Better be cute.
You ready?
It better be cute.
Oh, super.
Ooh, I love
Handsome. Man Crush. You ready?
Man Crush style?
Yeah.
Oof.
You ready?
Yes.
Brad Pitt, Moneyball over here.
Oof. Same hair.
Oh, Brad Pitt wishes.
I know, huh? He don't got hair like that.
Interesting. I don't know, but to me, Mike, it's a little optimistic though, right? I feel to me, they're safe. They're safe signings. It's kind of maybe because we live in the internet era, we're a little spoiled, jaded, however you want to phrase it. It's just like I can look it up and it's McCarthy's a good example. Like he was the guy that saved the penalties to win LAFC.
Their first one.
First one. Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
You may sell people on that, but if we look further, deeper, it's kind of like what else does he have to show?
No, you're absolutely right. McCarthy saved 2 penalties in MLS Cup to win it for LAFC. The dude who broke his leg comes back and takes a spot by the end of the year. What does that tell you? It clearly tells you who the better keeper is. And I like McCarthy. His stats, his stats and Bond's stats, that they both have things they're good and they're bad at. They did not bring McCarthy in to be the starting keeper. He's just sort of a backup plan. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm fully expecting that they're gonna move Bond. I do believe that Bond or Caceres, those are the two just sort of glaring. The Galaxy get one buyout a year. Bond has trade value, and he's on a salary that's expensive. But if you're a team that suddenly doesn't have a starting keeper anymore, that's a risk you might be willing to take, right? Caceres, man, that's a really high salary for a dude who might not even be a starter. We're in a new era with Will Kuntz, a ruthless era where if you don't fit in either in a position of need or in the salary cap, like say with McCarthy and Barry, I'm guessing Barry's going to be signed for like 150 or something like that tops. That's just my guess.
Well, actually, sorry, cut you off real quick. That would be a good testament to what Kuntz could do, right? He can move those bad salaries. Like, say we're at the Miami game and McCarthy's starting, and then whatever. I think we're gonna get killed because their preseason is gonna be like, longer than ours and more competitive. The traveling and everything. Like, they didn't go. Sorry for mocking you and you're listening to us, but it's like they're gonna fly here, they're gonna fly there. Yeah, that builds camaraderie. We don't even have a team. These guys are gonna like sleep in the same hotel. They're gonna fly on the same Spirit Airlines plane, for like a while. So they're gonna build their camaraderie, and they're gonna play midweek. They're gonna kill us, I think, today.
Well, let's not talk about the game.
Right? Hold on, I know, but I'm just saying. That's just real quick. So I think they're gonna kill us. In comparison to us, it's like, all right, let's see how McCarthy does. Let's see how.
Miguel Berry.
Yeah, let's see how Jalen and Yoshida do, right? So I think that will be a testament to what Kuntz can do.
Yeah.
You move those bad contracts. You move Caceres. You move Bond.
Yeah. For your liking.
No, just look at the way the league is structured, right? It's Moneyball. This is what Kuntz was brought in for.
Yeah, and
you spent money where it's more important to spend money.
And he's the numbers guys.
The best example is the Bond and McCarthy contracts. And people hate when you talk about the rivals, but Lores' contract is lower than Bond's, I think.
30,000.
Yeah. So figure that out. You have to move. Tell me, hold on.
Well,
Tell me right now, if he didn't sign for Levas, would you take Lotus over Bond?
No.
You wouldn't take Lotus over Bond?
Yoris?
Yeah, I would. Even though.
No, actually, here is pronounced Lotus because we don't like him.
No. Nah, Yoris.
No,
Let him cry over there. Chillon, llora.
Hey, Edgar, isn't it Lotus?
Snob arguing over accents.
Loris.
Yeah, thank you.
Well,
Fool,
Loris.
Yoris.
educate
whatever.
yourselves.
Never.
Bro,
But tell me right now, you would not. What they paid to what we paid.
What they paid, yes. Skill wise, either one, coin flip.
Overall,
To be honest,
All right, $0. You will take Bond over Lotus.
I'll take Klinsman over both.
God damn it!
Just tell me.
$0. Just answer the question.
That's a tough one. Because I am not a.
What do you mean? That guy won a World Cup. Yeah. What else do you want?
So did Handsome Giroud. He wasn't the main piece in that team. What do
Yeah,
you
I'll
mean?
take Giroud over Chicha.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
Come on! Stop being dumb. Yes or no?
Never.
$0.
I'll be dumb forever.
God damn. Lotus over Bond.
Mexican correspondent.
Oh my god.
He said.
So, yeah, if it's for free, or at least the contract that he got,
Equal
of course.
dollars.
Yeah,
It's
of
zero.
course.
It is zero because it's
Of
equal
course you
dollars.
would take him. But my thing with is, Loris had, he's had a massive decline ever since he won the World Cup.
Hey, fool.
So it's like,
Bond has no.
no, I know.
The World Cup.
Yeah, he won the World Cup.
Hey,
No,
fuck
yeah,
that
I
goalie.
see.
Why are we talking about that fucking
Anyways,
goalie? What the fuck?
because we're talking about Moneyball.
Moneyball
Yeah.
doesn't exist. Yes. Go ahead.
Hey, this is very interesting. We got to bring it up. Like, if you know the history between Will Kuntz and Thornton, they've always had kind of a frenemy thing going on where, like, they joined forces because they were both talented and they wanted to win a title. But at the end of the day, Kuntz, again, now he went from being the third dude to the GM. Like, he joined the Galaxy. He left LAFC and joined the Galaxy because he wanted to get ahead. He wanted to prove that he can run a team. And you're seeing some very interesting results, guys, because I got to tell you, Danny Bonga, that was when Will Kuntz was in town. Ever since Will Kuntz, oh, by the way, he was personally responsible for being Chiellini, so just so you know, the dude's good at what he does, man.
Yep.
But ever since Will Kuntz left LAFC, LAFC signings have been kind of average, kind of underwhelming. I mean, again, Bouanga was signed when Will Kuntz was in town. Ever since Will Kuntz left, it's been a bunch of mediocre European signings, like Cross-Staff, freaking Mario Gonzalez didn't do shit. They have the one winger, but no, it's Stipe, Buke. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, we've been talking Galaxy this whole time. We started talking about and I'm like,
Of course, that's all we do here, Ty.
one guy, like,
Edgar's been very quiet.
Matthias, no, fuck, I gotta get my name. Anyway, so yeah, it's interesting because, yeah, I kind of like the Lloris signing. I think that signing was based off of pedigree. You see Gareth Bale, you see Chiellini show up. These guys have a fun time. They're talking about how great LA is. They're talking about how great the atmosphere is at games. Like the one thing LAFC, like, that I do think is impressive. Well, we've done a lot of impressive things, but one of the things that I thought was impressive lately is that they were the team that when they came into the league, they were signing Diego Rossi. They were signing these like young players, some South Americans that they can move on, and that was impressive. And then they also they use that pedigree to just bring in a bunch of older, experienced players who just have like maybe 1 or 2 seasons left of them, and then Bale's the one who ends up doing that header in overtime, and then they win the title. Like, that's kind of what put
Fuck you, Bale.
and that's what put them over the edge. And then the other thing was that they, instead of just being fancy all the time, they finally just doubled down on MLS veterans. Brought in Ile Sanchez, brought in Kellen Acosta. All these guys made a big difference. But again, look what they did this year. They brought in Aaron Long on a max TAM contract. Was that a good idea? Not really.
I hated Aaron Long too. I
Yeah,
called that when they
horrible
were
idea.
rumored. I was like, nah, fuck
Hey,
this.
why do we hate certain players so much? I don't even
I don't know.
No.
It's just
We do know. I used
Jordan Morris, man. I hate him. I don't even know why.
It's
but
just
I do.
stupid.
No,
It's
no,
stupid
no.
faces, bro.
No,
you
style.
hate stupid faces.
Style of play.
I do.
Again,
I hate your stupid face. No.
we talked about earlier. If Brian
Everyone here is a beautiful face. We're not doing that.
if Brian was more disciplined, he'd be a pro, and if I was, I'd be USL. That's all we had. We know what it takes. The Altador theory.
Yeah.
We played an Altador player when me and Brian were like in our early 30s.
early 20s.
Late the 20s.
Beast-ass player,
Late
though.
20s. Dude, Altador's way younger. So late 20s, we played this guy that we thought was Altador. He was built. We played him another. It might have been him. And this is why we're so critical that we played indoor like a 5-on-5. I'm like, damn.
He was really good, though.
He was killing everybody. Sorry, this is a
Except
side
us.
story.
Except us.
This is a side story. That guy was like fucking buffed and killing every team. The Univision Cup. Shout out to Univision. Come back and host the cups. 50 grand.
I am.
That we didn't win. Anyways, so it might not seem like it now. I have long legs and I was very pacey. So like you and Brighton have to defend this guy. All right. Dude. Destroyed that guy.
He was a cloud.
Yeah.
He was a clown.
Destroyed him. Like
Yeah.
that guy probably is like still thinks about us.
So to what Mike was saying, with all the LAFC thing that they did great, we have the guy now that made that team be relevant even in our city. You know what I mean? So now we have that guy on our side. It's a great addition to what the LA Galaxy used to be, which was for the past decade a stench of loser. We already had the wooden spoon. We missed playoffs a bunch of times, and we've gone through quite some coaches. We've gone through a lot of coaches. And now we're in a very hopeful spot where I think LA Galaxy fans in general need to take the time to be patient, because this upcoming season, Kuntz is not going to hit a home run. Meaning in the factor that we make playoffs and make a deep run. We're not going to do that this
player
season.
for player, though. Peck will be a home run.
Is yet to see. But who the fuck was Bawanga when Kuntz brought him to LAFC? We didn't know about that
Doesn't
player.
matter. You
And
know
then he
what
came
I'm
over here, destroyed the league. It could be the same thing with Peck. It could be the same thing if the Ghanaian player rumor is true. Or the other rumor with, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Gabriel Rukavnica?
Edgar,
Kuravna?
how do you say it?
Kuravna? I'm horrible at pronunciation. Gabriel
Oh, you're talking about the guy
Rukavina.
from
Euro dude.
Serbia? The Serbian kid.
Yes. And then see, those type of rumors is the type that I want. Young players who could come here and just tear the league. Whether we sign them or not, the fact that there's rumors of those type of caliber players linked to us makes me hopeful that Kuntz is actually picking up the phone, speaking in Russian, and be like, hey, fool, give me your Russian player or your whatever Croatian player. Bring him here. Or calls Brazil and be like, hey, give me your best wingers or whatever it is.
Okay, if it were me,
Chef
I would-
Kuntz is in there cooking, bro. He got the veggies ready already on the
I
side.
don't know.
He got the
Oh,
he's heating the
That
oven,
fool
preheating the
right
oven.
now, he's shining the silverware, bro. He's not even a fucking. Yeah, he's not even a cook right now.
Well, hey, he's doing something, and it's more.
You guys have already killed the Kuntz's cooking thing. I've heard it like so many times. Like,
Yeah, it is.
Kuntz is cooking. Like,
Is he though?
you need another man. Like, Kuntz is balling or kicking ass or dunking on fools or something.
Cook is serving.
Nah,
Hell yeah.
You guys remember Tito Villalba from Atlanta? Yeah. All right. If I was just football manager, I would sign him up, and then I would get Roman Alessandrini, Mr. Beautiful French Face. His market value is 100,000. Let's bring him in for squad depth. Come on, we can do it, can't we? He can contribute. Come on, just like 1,000 minutes. Anybody?
Alessandrini?
1,000 minutes. That's hold on.
1,000.
Was like 1,400 for the season.
Mhm.
We're talking about like 70%. No, fuck no. You cannot. That's no.
Anyway, how about we do some questions? We were gonna do the Miami ticket situation, but I think we'll probably hit that topic closer to the main event for a season over, just because of what it is. The
Yeah,
greatest footballer ever is coming to LA. So once it gets
Cristiano's
closer,
coming?
what the fuck?
Who's coming?
Jossie Sardis, you fucking what the fuck?
At right back?
Greatest right back ever, baby.
Oh yeah. Eat it, Chippy.
See, look at even Mike Gray left when I said that.
Great left. Wah, 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 wah.
Okay. He didn't.
You were saying Chewy.
My phone, sir, so I can read these questions.
Oh yeah, you can have your phone.
Can you connect mine, please?
Once you get it. Hey Mike, welcome back.
All right. So let's get into some of these questions.
What is that? Put it on Mike's camera.
IPA.
Weekend
Voila,
vibes.
voila.
Oh yeah.
Weekend vibes. All right.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna start off with a question that we have for our guest,
Okay.
Mr. Mike
open
Gray. Thoughts on the current state of the Galaxy with the new potential signing and Will Kuntz in charge? Do you feel the LA Galaxy are finally catching up to MLS 4.0 or whatever it is right now?
Well, to be a successful organization, I mean, first of all, this isn't the MLS of previous generations. There's going to be 30 teams in the league after San Diego wins, and only one of those teams can win an MLS Cup, which is why it was so fucking annoying when they tried to take away the Open Cup because there aren't a whole lot of trophies for us to win or for MLS teams, and so. Well, we talked about Will Kuntz. Yeah. As far as the GM position is concerned, which by the way didn't exist until maybe like 6 months ago or something. Uh, that part's covered. I do believe that over time, everything that he's doing is going to bear fruit. I agree with Eddie that maybe with the exception of Yamane, that there hasn't been like any sort of great, it's been average. But I feel like what he's doing right now is a lot of the dirty work, getting rid of the bad contracts, bringing in Barry and McCarthy for what in theory should be not a lot of money. That part I'm fine with. The part that I'm worried about is Greg Vanny. There are some questions and some concerns. Is this a guy that can evolve from the 4-3-3 formation? Because I'm telling you right now, if you have Gabriel Peck on one side and then Pencil or some other signing, and that's going to be a different type of 4-3-3. There's going to have to be some sort of adjustments. I mean, for me personally, if you're going to have two just wingers who are just dynamic, one's just a sprinter and the other's a dude who can who's got a bag of tricks and can make his way past people. How do you adjust a 4-3-3? Do you have a deeper line of confrontation so that way, when there's a turnover, you can take advantage of it? I want to see that Vanny isn't one-dimensional and that he can actually, for me, this season more than anything else is going to be about Vanny's coaching acumen. Ooh. Is he a guy who's just going to be? He's going to be like a strict, stick to his philosophy, and we're going to win that way, or is he going to I want to get to the end of the season and not have to second guess anything. Yeah. I want to agree with this guy.
Hold on. Here's one thing I said. Right? He said, "What'd you say, Vanny? Like if he can do this and that." I said that we're not going to make the playoffs. That's going to be terrible. Why? The clash of heads
between him and the front offense. I'm already not a big Vanny fan. I'm not a big Vanny fan, but strictly football reasons. I know what he means to the club as a legend, but what he's done. Granted, last season he had an injury-ridden roster. Granted, but the other 2 seasons before, it was a big struggle. Now, I don't know if it was because he couldn't bring in the players that he wanted, but now that he has a new front office, is he going to bring in the players that he wants? I think from the beginning of the season, from that first game against Miami, he's in a hot seat already. He's probably on thin ice with Kuntz. And like we said earlier, with the Karofsky thing, it came out of nowhere. It could be one of those things with Vanny where Kuntz is probably just tired of his shit because Kuntz wants to be successful here with the LA Galaxy. And if he sees something in the first 5 games that he doesn't like, he could probably just let him go.
Yeah. By the way, if we had $100, Mike will reveal the new kit. You have to.
So, well, let's get back to these questions.
It's literally just, I'm looking at it right now. Ooh.
Oh, he's looking at it now.
No.
The new kits.
Are they sexy?
He can't tell you. Oh, he can't tell you.
Damn
I was hacked. This isn't me. This is an AI version of Mike Gray.
Well, let's get to these questions. On Instagram, AdamDC25. Who is the starting goalkeeper for the 2024 season and the 2 starting center backs?
Oof. I think the center backs are easy.
Yeah, I think
center backs are easy.
Center back. Hold on. Let's see if we agree. Real quick. Just say the names.
It's not Rafa Marquez.
Yo, cállese el hocico.
Yoshida and Neil.
And Neil.
Actually, like, it is easy, right? Kind of. But
Yeah.
Could have stirred.
For Kranis and Neil. What you mean?
Stupid.
That's not
Actually,
big.
that would be amazing because those are cheap domestics. But if I could stir it, it would be Cáceres Centineo, right? It's oh
Ugh.
man. Actually, that's not bad either. You can
Cáceres
go all ways
Yoshida?
because Moneyball, because you make money off Neil. If you can move Neil, I don't think Neil goes cheap. I don't think he is like
Hey, no, his salary is like dirt cheap though. You don't want to get rid of him. Like that's why I was saying
yeah, no,
Alcaraz would
but
be
what
the.
can you make off
I know.
him too?
Oh yeah. Well, especially now that like if you it used to be that you could transfer players abroad and you didn't get shit, but now you get a lot of GM, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, again, it's the price is right. So
right?
no.
Oh,
Well,
that's a hard one.
said, what was
That's
the
a hard
question?
one.
Rephrase the question.
Starting goalkeeper.
The goalkeeper
Starting goal-
starting. Is it Bond or is it Mikovic? Let's keep it real. Bond or Mikovic. McCarthy's gonna compete, but unless he's that much better than those two, he's not getting started, bro. So it's either Mikovic or Bond. I'm already tired of Bond, and we see what Mikovic could do in the Leagues Cup. It's a small sample. It's gonna have to be a gamble if you put him as a starter.
I still think it's gonna be Bond.
They're not just gonna like develop him out of nowhere. They're gonna have to bleed. You know, they're gonna have to bleed him into. Or, that's a bad. What's the expression for like when you know he's gonna need game time to develop. Think of Omar Gonzalez from back in the day. Like he's gonna need that year of just development and making mistakes and just growing with his like mistakes and just learning how to become a professional. Like, but that doesn't happen until he gets starts. I think preseason is going to determine between Bond or Mikovic who the starter is. But you guys got to keep in mind that, at least in my from my eyes, that Bond's trade bait. So they have to keep a rotation where I think McCarthy's like a good locker room guy. He's not a guy that you need to give minutes. He's just going to be happy that he's there. You're going to have Mikovic who wasn't it $1 million to for the transfer fee or something? They aren't
And
bringing
an
him here
international slot.
now, right? The goal is get that guy as your starter. So for me, the preseason, if they make the calculation that they can get him through the season and live
Why'd
with
you
the
come on
mistakes.
earlier? I just thought about the perfect title. Willy Wonka and the Galaxy Trade Factory. 'Cause we took internationals and we like
Willy Wonka
in the Trade Factory.
and the Trade Factory. What you think, Edgar?
It's like a good show. Go ahead.
That was a good book.
Are you okay?
There was a book.
Yeah.
Next question.
No,
so
I'm going with the
You're so
original.
cultured, my man. I mean, there was
Here we
a
go.
book.
Here we go. Next question. Logan Jones. And this is, I think, a rumor that Corner of the Galaxy already shut down. Would you guys be mad if we sign Carlos Vela on a temp contract? That could be like the that could be like the ultimate Ronaldo leaving Barcelona to go to Real Madrid, or Ronaldo going to or Luis Figo from Milan to Inter type shit. Would there be? Well, I mean, we kind of had one already with Landon Donovan from San Jose to the LA Galaxy, so we don't need another one.
Yeah, but Donovan was he went to go play overseas before coming back to Galaxy, so it wasn't like a direct thing. It'd be really odd. I mean, it's not like Vela was going out of his way to insult Galaxy or the other Galaxy fans. He's a very quiet guy, right? I mean, he would say stuff here and there, but for the most part, he was just very quiet, just do his job, and it was weird to see him and Chicharito together because they're so different, right? But yeah, I don't know. Obviously that's not gonna happen, but that'd be really odd. It'd be really weird, and it wouldn't sit right with fans from either team either. People on one side would be like, "You traitor," and then people from the other side was like, "We don't want you." That wouldn't make anybody happy.
What you think,
It feels
Mike?
it feels like Vela's at a point in his career where he's going to do what's best for him and his family, rather than some sort of just sporting decision, right? So going to the Galaxy would be one of those like, I really want to play one more season and I'll just go wherever they want me or whatever. And I don't think Vela's that desperate to just go to the Galaxy. Tell you what, I did kind of have a little bit of belief in the idea that he might go to New York, NYCFC. Not necessarily because of because of a sporting thing, but because, hey, it'd be cool to live in New York with his family and move over there and live over there for like a year or two, like close out his career like in another big American city and stuff. I think that he's just, it's a mystery. If you had asked me at the beginning, I would have said that they would eventually figure out a way to bring him back. A few days ago, he removed the LAFC hashtag or whatever from his Instagram handle. So, I mean, I'm a social media guy, so I was like, oh, something's up there, or maybe it's nothing. But I mean, for me, who knows? LAFC's off season's been kind of a mystery. Usually we would have heard by now about one or two really juicy signings from him, and this goes back to what I was saying. Will Kuntz leaves, all of a sudden that magic that LAFC had in the transfer market, where they were just hitting on every signing and everyone in the world wanted to play for him. It's not happening, so we'll see about that. But Vela, I'm gonna be honest, like I didn't even really think about it enough to like be serious. I mean, come on, dude. Like, plus it was the reporter who mentioned it. Like I don't know. I'm like this is bullshit. Come on, who can believe this? That was just my opinion.
Yeah. Mexican correspondent.
Here's how I see it. Maybe if this was like a couple years ago, where supposedly he was in his prime, then probably would have said yes. But the way I see Vela is he hasn't really been that top player he was a couple years ago. So at that point, we're just getting. I think to me, we're just getting Vela, who just doesn't. I mean, he doesn't really care about the sport overall. We know this. He doesn't even like the sport. But I think we're just getting a Vela who just doesn't give a shit about the game. He just gives up. I feel like if he would have come here, he wouldn't really do anything. That's how I see it.
Remember Landon with Leon.
Minimal Tim.
Well, I guess I'm glad that the rumor is shut down by the all great Corner of the Galaxy. Shout out. Yeah, he said that there was no heat to that. But imagine if he was here though. Nah. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Anyway,
I don't want to hear.
Let's get to this next question. Where was it? All right. I won't ask that, but I'll show you it.
Pass.
I knew it. Take the Wheel 64. When do you think we'll get a tell-all book about the Klein era? And what would you title it?
Oh, we titled it. We'll do that.
I like the title.
I got this easy for me.
That's a good one.
Wait, this is easy. Ready? And then whoever wants to go next, raise your hand right now. Nobody's ready. Okay.
Nah.
Incline.
Ooh. What about from incline
It's so
to
easy.
decline?
Nobody?
From incline to decline.
It's not even clever.
What do you mean? And you put dumbbells on that shit. That'd be tight. That'd be a dope ass fucking cover.
That's not.
You don't know shit, fo.
You've never written a book.
I don't read, fo.
I've written 6, and I've never read either.
I like Pokemon, all right? That's the most reading I do.
They don't even write comics or anything.
That's how much I read.
Fair. So for mine is Incline.
Edgar, what you got? The name of a book.
I don't know. My brain is fried at this point.
I think that's a good title.
I mean,
My brain is
I-
fried at this point.
Good title, Edgar.
What you think, Mike?
I'm trying to take Klein's name and stick it in Klondike Bar and come up with something clever and original, and I'm just fucking the brain's fried, man. Like, you guys took the good ones. I had Decline.
Yeah. You say Klondike. What about
Incline.
Don Klein?
I said incline.
Oh, whatever.
Because incline
See?
implements
Yeah,
your
it's
no.
hard.
It's hard to go up.
Klondike, Don
The
Klein.
decline is too easy.
Dyslexia, fo. Whatever. You
Like
little
if
shit,
this
fo.
guy was a bad manager and he wrote a book or bad whatever the fuck he was and wrote a book called Incline, he'd be like, "Oh, I gotta read this." That's why.
From
fool.
incline to decline. What about?
Calvin Klein.
I was gonna say that. How the fuck you know? Welcome to News Across the Galaxy, where we talk all shit about Klein. Nah.
Oh,
Hey, we got his
Not Calvin Klein. But Klein.
The Calvin.
CK.
That's good.
got his name
Hey,
back in
or
there, my boy.
my book would be CK One Win.
Ooh. CK.
Hey, come on, most clever. All right, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 night boys on here.
Okay.
The best title gets a beer from each one of us in the stadium spot.
Right now?
No, in the stadium for the home opener.
No, I'm saying you think of the name right now.
Yeah.
That I'm fried. Sorry,
What?
you heard me.
He's fried.
You're
fried. I'm Klein. What?
You finished?
What?
I don't know what you're saying, dude. To be honest.
No, so
Either-
the best comment right now for the book gets a beer for each one of us at the home opener.
We just
home opener
gave
in
our
Century.
whole arsenal of names.
That's why if someone comes up with one that we think is better, we each buy him a beer. Me, you, Chewy, and Edgar buy him a beer at the home opener.
By Mike, a beer.
Oh, Mike, hell yeah!
Oh,
Credit
yeah, all right.
card.
We're buying you a beer, sir.
Sorry, Brian.
That's
Awesome.
4 beers.
Anyways, next question.
Next question. From
We'll pay
Tony.
for your parking.
From Tony B _ A _ N. Tony Ban.
Is that the guy who told me to cut my hair? 'Cause fuck that.
Maybe. I don't know. Is Vanny extension dependent on the end of the season or Kuntz hiring a new coach for 25?
We'll come back.
I think we've mentioned that earlier, that he's probably on a short, well, I don't want to say short leash because that sounds very disrespectful, but he's on a hot seat where if they are clashing heads at the beginning of the season with how the game is going, especially against a team in Inter Miami where they have World Cup winning players
And Suarez.
and Suarez. I think that's where they're gonna measure the stick. And 5 games in, if you're not producing anything, I think there's gonna be some talks about let's hire a new coach. The bad side of that is what coach do you bring in? So that's why I don't see Vanny leaving.
It's an
anytime soon.
MLS coach. Like, who can you bring in? And that's what we argue when we wanted Vanny out. It's like, all right, who you gonna bring in?
Yeah. Edgar, what you guys think?
I feel like just like Dejan Joveljic, I feel like the jury's out as far as Klein is concerned because a year ago we were talking about how the team was saddled with the sanctions and the shadow of the protest, and then as the season progressed and it seems like they were finally getting things together, there were all these injuries, right? So in the end, like, you know, what kind of grade do you give Klein? I mean, not Klein, Banny. You really can't really grade, you know, his performance because he had so many injuries. I think that made it difficult because I felt like they had something going, and then all these people got hurt, and in the end, they just ran out of warm bodies to put, you know, on the field. So, but this time around, it's different. This time, the players have time to get healthy. He has Will Coons, trying to put together a competent roster that can compete in the West and then maybe even challenge for an MLS Cup or even a U.S. Open Cup. Um, and if at the beginning of the season he actually has all these good players, all these great tools at his disposal, and he's not able to figure out how to make them work together by the middle of the season, I think he might be gone. And at that point, then the season becomes like damage control, trying to figure out how to fix things and keep things together and maybe somehow scrape a way to get into the playoffs, and then have to restart all over again. But this time, Will Coons will have more control of how to build a team together and go out and find a manager that will fit in with that system and go from there. But yeah, I feel like I said, I mentioned Dejan Joveljic also. I mean, Dejan Joveljic has to prove, he's the man. Unless Galaxy somehow out of nowhere brings in some kind of striker, um, to put up there, Dejan's got to be the man. And if he couldn't do it last year. If he can't do it this year, if he has, a competent winger
What
and
if
pack,
what
then
if
maybe
Mbappe came in?
if Mbappe comes in, bye bye, Dejan.
I mean, that's a different
Yeah, I
thing.
mean, I keep harping on, I would love to have Mbappe come into this club. I hope that they make a big splash. But yeah, I definitely think Vanny is obviously on the hot seat. Obviously, is a
Oh,
big
hold
there's
on.
a big magnifying
Bryce got
glass over him
something.
this season. This is it. He has to put up or shut up, man.
Yeah. Uh, Mike, same question. Is Fanny's job dependent on last season, or is Coons hiring a new coach for 25?
Well, look at the story of Will Pernetzi. Montreal was so good in 2022. They get to the Eastern Conference semifinals, and then they just blow it. They get killed 3-1. They were the dominant team, but NYCFC was just ruthless when they had their chances. He gets plucked by the Columbus Crew because they're so goddamn impressed by what he did with Montreal. Columbus goes the whole season impressing everybody, and then they win MLS Cup. The point is that if you put out a product that's a certain way, then you're going to attract. It's so tough when it comes to results, but I do think that this year Vanny has to prove that he can turn the Galaxy into an elite club. That for me is the baseline for him to keep his job. And I do think that he's in a position where it's his fourth season at the club. He's got an ambitious GM who is ruthless and wants success at any cost. Yeah, they have to perform like an elite club. If they don't, then I'm not sure that he keeps his job next year because, uh, you know, one thing that the reporters talk a lot about Vanny is that he's very open. He's a generally good dude, but he's very open. He doesn't bullshit. Like, Bruce, you could ask him, like, what color is the sky? And he'd be like, I'm not telling you, he's always just, like,
Yep.
he was like, he had this like wall and he had this front about him. Whereas with Vanny, I know Josh has had several talks with him that, are like hours long. And so, like, that bought him a lot of rope with the reporters because, even when there were failures, he could at least explain them and make it make sense, and he would be very intelligent. And you could sort of see like how the sausage was made. But again, going back to Vanny, he's got some flaws he's got to work on. The Galaxy have been absolutely dog shit in rest defense. In transition. They can't defend to say they gave up the most goals in the league last year. Think about that. Think about the fact that the Galaxy spent most of the season in 13th place out of 14 teams.
Yeah.
Think about the fact that every team in the league has injuries and every team in the league has depth issues. And for several years now, the Galaxy have been in a position where you could argue how they're making the most out of their talent. Is Vanny being a coach or is he being an ideologue? And so, yeah, if we get to the end of the season, we're like, okay, this team is good, like no questions asked. I think that's a situation where he keeps his job because I don't want to put everything on results. The Galaxy could be awesome and then just blow it, which, look at LAFC. They blew 3 titles. They want to tell them that their team sucked last year? I don't think so, right?
No, yeah.
But if Vanny doesn't even though they blew it. But if Vanny doesn't pull it off, and he doesn't turn this team into an elite unit, I mean, you got Ricky Pooge. The Galaxy are going to have a club record transfer to bring in Gabriel Peck. No more excuses. No more
Yeah.
excuses.
Yeah, and that was my next question. What was the threshold that you give him? And it sounds like you're gonna give him the whole season.
Yeah. Going back to Vanny. Vanny was the guy that was on the record as saying, "Hey, you bring in a DP during the summer. Whatever. You're really thinking about next year. Bringing in both DPs ahead of time is going to be a huge advantage for Vanny because Vanny's teams play this heavy possession style. It's when you play these like very pretty aesthetic styles, you got to have more time on the ball. Like I've noticed, like traditionally, Vanny's teams have always gotten off to really slow starts. Yet it's always a matter of catch up. I mean, like unless I'm like blanking here, Galaxy missed the playoffs 2 of the last 3 seasons. What happens if Ricky Pooge and Gaston Brugman don't show up in the summer? Do they make the playoffs? No. So there's a lot of pressure on Vanny to prove that he can actually turn this team into an elite unit. And I think that if they don't pass the eye test for 20, that's going to be for me is the eye test. Like by the end of the season, we're either going to say this is an elite club or we're going to say, what if? And if there are any what ifs, I think that's where Kuntz is already looking ahead. Because, I mean, after 2026, who knows what kind of positions might be available? Maybe he swings for the fences and goes for some sort of fancy signing, like whether it's a U.S. based manager abroad, like Jesse Marsh, or he goes for, again, swings for fences, goes for some international coach or something. So I know
Like
it's
Mourinho?
it's a difficult question to answer, but yeah, because I don't want to do it on results, but you know what? Screw it. Top 4 place in the Western Conference.
Fourth
I think
place.
that's a good thing.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
That's not. No, actually, it's really good considering that
that's
we're
not bad.
9. Within ninth, you can make it to the playoffs or
Yeah.
wild card. That's not bad at all.
Last
home
question.
field, home field, home
Last
field.
question.
There we go.
Last question. From Rambling Runoff. Shout out to Robert Rios. That's his podcast. He's a long time listener. He does just random sports podcasts, and you guys should follow him. He asks, "What is your opinion on the status of modern media / journalism, i.e., journalism, podcasts, news videos?"
May I?
Man, I could go. I could
may
go
I?
off on that. I'll let Mike go first.
Go first, Eddie.
My best analogy is Baskin Robbins in our day. 31 flavors.
Whatever you like.
Yeah, pick yours.
Yeah.
That's it. Plain and simple.
Yeah. Edgar?
No, I'll let Mike go because I think I'm gonna be very negative about it. I want to hit him to be positive.
Go ahead,
yes,
Mike.
positive.
Oh,
Go for it.
Edward, come on! I want to hear it, man. Let's hear the negativity. You're not offending me.
Yeah,
man.
let Mike contradict you.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I got my degree in English and language and literature, and I was a journalist since 1997. I covered MLS, U.S. soccer, NASCAR. I've covered a lot of sports. I used to cover concerts and do stories for my school newspaper. I won awards and all this stuff. So I worked really hard. I got an internship for the Wichita Eagle in Kansas. I was a correspondent for my fraternity in Virginia. I wrote for the LA Times. I wrote for Yanks Abroad. I wrote for those different magazines. And now I'm a technical writer. I'm no longer a quote unquote journalist. I'm a technical
You're
writer.
still
So the
on
closest-
NAG, asshole.
Well, so I was gonna say the closest I come to journalism is what I do here with NAG. I mean, I
Closest,
wrote for
you heard
Yanks
that?
Abroad. I mean, it's true. I mean, I've told you guys repeatedly, and I always tell other podcasters, that we work with, that we are journalists. Whether you guys believe it or not, even if you don't get paid to be a journalist, you are a journalist. You're chronicling what happens in this league, and it's being recorded. So years from now, when people look at what we say, what we do, they're gonna look back on this and be like, "This is a chronicle of what's going on in Major League Soccer." This is history. We're the ones writing the history for it. Now, as far as journalism is concerned, I feel journalism died on 9/11. I feel like after that, there's a lot of yellow journalism out there. I feel like a lot of people poisoned the well. We saw a lot of that during the time of the Trump presidency, because there's a lot of here's he said that, she said that, and I could go down that rabbit hole, and a lot of people will probably get upset because they'll feel like, how dare you? Fox News is, is a credible source when actually it's not. It's been, described as entertainment TV more than anything. Um, the only place I get my news where I really, really believe it is AP News. If you want to get news, you want to, get the, just the straight up facts, go to AP News. Don't go to CNN. Don't go to Fox News. Go to AP News. Maybe NPR, but that has a little, off to the left. As far as sports journalism is concerned, um, sports journalism, I feel like anybody who can get a mic and a camera gets the opportunity to be a journalist. The really good ones are the ones that really last, and that, and invest the time into it and earn the respect of their peers and work hard at what they're doing. That's why guys like Mike and guys like Matt Pollard, we just spoke about him out in Colorado, guys like even newcomers like JT and Lee with the Charlotte, City Fan TV. Do you see people that are putting in, the time to work hard and make it something that's credible, because they're not out there just to get, into the stadium with a press pass and enjoy the spread and then, not do anything with what the opportunity. They're actually working hard to report on what they see and what they do. And not only that, if we have an opportunity to do this or at an organic level, right? Grassroots level, where we're not paid by the team, to sugarcoat things or to, come off as in a very corporate angle. We're actually speaking from our soul and from our hearts because we love the sport and we love the teams that we cover. So it's an opportunity for us to do this, but it's very easy to go out there and find something that you think, it's shiny and pretty and sings to you, but it's okay to go and listen to somebody that doesn't agree with you. And as long as it's an educated and respectable source, and you'll know who it is, right? Because we like to joke here on NAG, all feelings, no facts, but at the heart of it, there are some facts. There is some information that we're sharing with people. We're out here, educating not only ourselves but the listeners, and we're learning from them as well because it's a dialogue. But that's just the way I feel about it. I feel like we're measured by the kind of coverage that we provide and the kind of coverage that we're able to entertain, right? Entertain and also provide coverage at the same time, and it's a fine line to walk. Um, Maybe I digress a little, but that's I feel like that's important to do, and to remain respectable and a credible source for listeners and for viewers alike. Mike.
Well, that was quite a speech, Edgar. I don't know how I'll be able to follow that up adequately, but I can try. It's a little depressing. Like let's just talk about like soccer and like American soccer and everything. Yeah, like 6 months ago, I had a job. Alex Ruiz had a job. Andy Diosa had a job. We're all like, none of us have jobs anymore, and it's because we can talk about the striker. I'm so proud of the work that me and Alex and everyone and Phil and everyone at the striker did. We don't feel that the site going on hiatus and being shut down was a reflection of our work. It was more a reflection of the business model and individual mistakes. And we can talk about that. That's kind of boring, whatever. But yeah, if you're passionate about the sport, you'll find a way to land on your feet and just keep going. For me personally, I've always had a very interesting career with covering soccer. With MLS. My career started in 2009 when I went to MLS Cup, and I snuck into a meeting with some of the biggest journalists in the country. Don Garber was there. He made a few jokes that I'm not allowed to repeat. But
Lovely.
How dark
Yeah,
were they? Prumts.
yeah, he totally did the whole like, hey, since we're all buds, let me tell you a couple of things, and he's a freaking executive, he's a freaking commissioner of a sports league, so he does cool shit. But anyways, um, from the very beginning, man, I always had this sort of unconventional route in soccer. I mean, when I was growing up, like I grew up with Zach Abdel. That was the Galaxy. Or excuse me, he was the Galaxy's goalkeeper coach when he won MLS Cup, and then he went over to LAFC during the Bob Bradley era. So, you know, that's how I sort of got into journalism. Was I was just a soccer player first, and then sort of journalism or journalist second. But man, for me, I've always thought, and this is just my opinion, I'm not shitting on anybody because a lot of my colleagues do great work, but I always thought that the coverage has always been very boring. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm talking like 2 months ago when I was making a pitch to somebody, but you know, I mean, I had someone complaining to me once that, like, you know, if you go to the MLS website, like, you know, they call it propaganda, you know, and I feel like the coverage is very just across the board, you know. Think about the fact that in America, we have people love MLS and that's cool, but think about like all the people, like the self-conscious, like wieners, the Euro snobs. So many people just, you know, they take their coverage and they put it through the lens of like people who are always worried about American soccer, and you know the whole conversation of just every 5 seconds, like, is the league growing? Is soccer growing? Is American soccer growing? Are enough people playing abroad? Is this guy in the second division of the Belgian league? Should he be called up? I mean, all these. I get so tired of that shit. Can't we just enjoy the game? You know?
May I
Interject.
May I-
Yes.
Interject.
Yes.
Yes.
one
Yeah.
player right now, and I like it. I'm gonna tell you right now. You know, three controversies in one day.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Sorry, Mike. Are you a U.S. fan? U.S. soccer, U.S. men's national team fan?
Correct, but very casual, not like anal stuff.
No, I mean not all of us like because it's a pain in the ass. But are you a U.S. national team watcher? I guess.
Yeah.
So
I like the men and women.
hold on.
I'm not okay.
So you're familiar with Liga MX, the Kenan Cal move.
Beautiful. And you know what it is?
But it's kind of like, let me just the most like open question.
But I think
With
you see,
hold on, with nothing to
That
give
is
you. It's
so
like
weird.
Why? It's just why. I actually like hitting Cal, but it's like Chivas. Why?
why
That
not?
is so weird.
I think you know what it is?
Right?
Right,
It's weird, right?
No, to me, what it
It's
is,
really weird.
it's why not. We have had for years.
Oh, as a US fan,
Liga
as a
MX
US
haters.
fan, as a US fan, we're
For
winners.
years.
We're winners.
Why would they do that again to themselves?
No,
Yeah,
as
it's
US
so
fans, we're
weird.
winners, right?
Yeah, 100%.
100%. We're winners.
Yeah,
Because it's either going to work or it's not. We already know that.
it doesn't matter. You
Where
have
you going with it?
an American international and your Chivas, who are supposedly be all Mexican, which he is, but he's an American international. Nah, but you
It's so
started
weird, man.
you steered away from the question, which was is modern media and journalism and all these videos the opinion of that, and my opinion of it coincides with our professional gentlemen here. There's professional gentlemen like Edgar and Mike, and then there's us who have the feelings and no facts, and I think both could coexist in the same circle. Maybe not be as involved when it comes to the professional aspect like these two gentlemen have had. They've been able to be in press conferences, been able to interview players right after the games. That's the professional side, and it's lovely. What we do, we talk our shit,
And
and people tune into it, and there's nothing wrong with that, as long as it's not just a bashing of the team, and it's more
Nah, but it's
feelings, no facts.
Yeah.
Because we love this team,
like,
and we go with this team. type thing.
It's kind of like a friend kind of thing, but with less consequence because we don't know them directly. But it's like, I'm fat. You fool, you're fat. You know, it's like
We're not
come
talking
on,
about your
fat
weight, bro.
ass,
We're
you know.
good.
Oh, what did you do today?
Eat a cheeseburger?
Yeah.
You fucking fat.
Why
No.
don't you- yeah, exactly. It's just kind of like that, you know.
Nah,
I wouldn't take it
it's
offensive. I'm
definitely
like-
not that.
I get it. I'm a cheeseburger kind of body person. You know, if I ate a salad, I would look more like my friends.
My assumption would be in a circle of professionals like yourself, Mike Gray, Kevin Baxter, where you guys have actual degrees in journalism. I'm pretty sure it annoys other professionals that we're able to get into the space without having the proper training. Now, we're only able to get into it because of our initial reactions. You guys are the actual people that put in the work and come out with the facts. Like I said, we've been saying this on the show. We are all feelings, no
Right.
facts.
I don't know if you missed what I was saying earlier, but I actually said that I think it's refreshing to have voices like
sorry about that.
yours. It's voices like the ones Charlotte, for example, Fan TV. Those guys are new. They just started doing this, right?
Yeah.
Like Matt, our good friend Matt Baker out in St. Louis at Flyover Footy. It was his first year doing this too, and
he's great with it.
really good at it. Yeah. So you have all these different voices, and I like I said, I think I really like what NAG does. I mean, why am I still here, right? You
Yeah.
said, I'm a journalist, right? I have all this, all these years of covering MLS and U.S. soccer. Why
And
am I still
accolades.
hanging around with you guys, right? Because I like what you guys do. Because you guys can go and yell, well, feelings, no facts, as loud as you want. But at the end of the day, you're still giving facts because you're talking about what's actually going on. But you're speaking like Mike said, you guys have so much personality, and you entertain while also educating people. And that's why I still tell you, if you guys don't believe me, I feel you guys are still journalists at the end of the day, because people tune in to listen to what you guys are saying, because not only they want to be entertained, but they also learn about what's going on with the club. And whether they agree with you or not, they still want to hear what you have to say.
You guys
Hey.
are underselling yourselves a ton.
Yes.
First of all. Second of all, I don't want to hear any of this self-conscious bullshit, guys. we're basically a boy band at this point. All right. I look across and everyone's just. I mean, I can't even say it on air, but I mean, Eddie's got the muscles of the group.
Hell yeah.
And,
You're a sexy motherfucker, Eddie.
Andy's got the tattoos.
Hey.
Dude.
To finish it off, if you guys want to take Edgar and Mike, you want to take Eddie and myself out to dinner and make out, just say it.
Gaikaku.
Just say
I
it.
have taken you out to dinner,
Gaikaku,
baby.
right?
What are you talking about?
Gaikaku.
I
kissed
think
men before.
I think both you guys out to dinner already.
Yeah. Hey, just
Wait,
take us out to dinner. We
What
might
about-
put out.
gifts?
We might
what
put
You
about-
want
out
to send us a gift card to
news across the
happened to-
galaxy.
Gayukaku?
Yeah,
Mike.
Mike's fixing up his hair.
Hey, honestly,
You're gonna
burn
tell
the,
me
burn the
that-
spot so there's more. Gayukaku is
I love Gayukaku.
the first one here, the Pasadena one. We used to kill it.
But if you guys want to donate for us to get a neon sign that says "Keep on nagging," you guys can do that too.
Sponsored by Gayukaku.
Yeah.
Send the money.
Just kidding.
Chewy can't even comment on Gayukaku. Chewy, comment.
What? It's pretty bomb.
Yeah, there he is. Let's go for a while.
Perfect.
Anyways.
And that was the last question. Thank you to everybody to submitted questions. Thank you to everybody that's still up with us. Just hearing us rant about nothing, to be honest. Just because it's the off season. And we have a special guest. And our special guest is special. He's a very genuine human being. And thank you, for
you know who
coming.
he looks like? Look, you see the lighting?
Like my next girlfriend.
Hey,
Hey.
oh, my next girlfriend. Anyways, you watch him. You familiar? Hey, you familiar with Marvel?
I mean, yes, but also
You
fuck
like
pointed out.
Adam Warlock while he's flying.
Ooh.
Adam Warlock.
Yeah, look at the lighting and this fucking Lion King here over Simba and shit. Like,
I like Mr. Head and Shoulders, man. That one's burned into my brain. I'm gonna be telling people
yeah,
days from now.
you have the skin color. It's very
Because I
gold.
just can't
Wait
wait for
till
the
we-
6 Woo, that's a good song.
I would say I can't wait to be friends because
Oh,
that's all I see.
no,
in
well, I
the
was
last-
saying 6 for this galaxy. Whatever,
yeah,
fuck you.
yeah, but I want to go further than friends.
Nah,
Honestly,
you're stuck in the
yeah.
friend zone, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
Anyways.
So let's wrap it up.
You sir?
Yeah, I think that's
I
it.
never wrap it up.
You
have to?
Shit. Wait, what?
Do we have another secret topic that
Go ahead. What were you
there's gotta
saying?
be something to talk about? I'm having a good time. I don't want to go anywhere.
I mean,
I
you can
even
stick out.
bought a-
You can stick around after.
I
We
even
just
bought
don't
a
want
second
everybody to
beer.
stay up till like well, wait, 1, 2,
No, I can go.
3 a.m. on a Sunday. No, just kidding.
MLS after dark is the best time, fellas.
It is.
Hey, you want to chat after? We can stay on. Edgar has his kid.
I know Edgar has to go. Killer shirt, by the way, Edgar. Can you explain to everybody what that shirt is?
Oh, this shirt right here.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a throwback to the 1980s, man. This is my favorite cartoon of all time. This is Robotech, the 1980s, and this is Rick Hunter. He's a pilot for the Robotech Defense Force. If you ever watched this cartoon, if you haven't, go look it up on YouTube, Robotech. And it's based off like a Japanese cartoon called Macross, and they took Macross and spliced it with 2 other cartoons, and they made like a whole long saga out of it. But this guy was the main character from the first series, which was called the Macross series. And he was a young kid who was at the age of like 17, 18, was thrust into an intergalactic war, and he had to quickly become a leader. And in the end, he ended up becoming like a lieutenant commander, leader of the Earth forces against like an alien invasion. And I just really love his character because when I was a kid, I saw him as as a kindred spirit, and because he was nervous with girls, and he was still learning how to navigate his way through life, and then in the end he ended up having to figure out who he was as a man and what his role was going to be.
That's
So,
crazy.
yeah, there you
I never knew anything you read wasn't carved in stone. So if you want to find me anywhere, actually, sorry, go ahead on myself. Thank you very much,
There you go.
Mike Gray, the original Kurt Russell.
The original LAG Confidential.
Yeah, exactly. Thank
The
you for being
original
here.
Cutie Patootie.
Yes.
Aw.
If
guys
you
are
want to
making
find
my-
me on any social media, you can find me as Eddie Nags. I'm not very active lately, so yeah, Eddie Nags. Right?
You can find me as Bryant Nags, BRYANT_Nags, both on X/Twitter and Instagram. Edgar?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter. I refuse to call it X. As Edgar Nags, also on Instagram, and if you're interested, also YouTube. I've been doing a lot of WWE 2K23 like
Lovely.
world building recently, and I'm thinking about uploading some of the videos I'm doing because they're pretty nuts. I mean, I have wrestling matches between Doctor Who and Skeletor on there, and like Batman versus Cristiano Ronaldo, who are fierce rivals. And I might upload those. So if you have YouTube, look me up. Mike.
Perfect. Chewy?
So
Oh, true. Yeah. So sorry, my bad.
You guys can find me as Travis J.A., Travis Ha on all my socials. Pretty easy. Pretty
and
simple.
of course,
Last
The
but not
floor.
least,
Yes.
coming to the stage, it's Mike Gray. Let them know where they can find you.
don't worry about a C-section. I mean, what?
What?
It's Sunday evening, so those are just friendly scars. Those are smiley faces right under their belly button. Mike Gray.
How am I supposed to follow that up, man? All right. You can find me at Mike Gray AFC on Twitter, X, whatever, and on Instagram at mdangergray. I don't want.
Perfect. Beautiful.
All
Once again,
right. I'm on my Twitter.
follow my Twitter.
He's trying. Those IPs are strong, huh, Mike?
Something like weird. I can't.
Lovely.
You're cracking out. I can't hear anything anymore. I think I gotta go.
Damn it, Chewy.
You know, cell phone range. You know how it goes.
All right, that's fine. One here. So
let's get up outta here.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. This is part 2 of 2024 for the
Yeah.
News Across the Galaxy.
We're gonna have
team.
another show next week. Just to let you know.
We're gonna try.
No, we will.
Tucker.
We have special guests lined up.
Yeah, we do.
It's gonna be cool.
Just the way we always start and then fall short later, just like the Galaxy.
Just like the hey,
False
just like the
hope,
Galaxy.
baby.
Well, there is one thing that Brian and I discussed earlier.
Of course.
Remember, Brian, we were talking about how like we did that whole series last year with we talked to podcasters from around the league before for Galaxy match previews, and
Yep.
it was it was great.
good.
We made so many good friends, and this season there are some contacts that we have that we're not going to play. For example, we're not playing Orlando. We're not playing DC United. Just as an example, but we're still going to check on them because MLS is a family, so we're going to check in on those guys and see how they're doing because
We need to build our
a lot of-
Airbnbs for free. What
yeah,
sorry.
oh yeah. So we're going to check on those guys, and it'll be interesting because everybody has amazing stories to tell from their point of view. Everybody tells their story. We tell our story from the Galaxy point of view. They tell their story from their city's point of view, and we all see what everybody's doing, and this is all makes up part of the beautiful MLS quilt that we enjoy.
Yeah. I love
Hey.
that. I love that.
And you know
Yeah.
what? We're a Galaxy podcast. We haven't played you yet, and Edgar hasn't reached out to you, or you haven't checked your inbox or spam. We're sorry, but we're all hoping you're having a great year so far.
Yeah.
We're in week 2 of the year for Bryant, Edgar, Chewy, in studio. Guti, he hasn't talked much. Very
Special guest.
special thanks to Mike Gray.
Yeah.
My
hell
name
yeah.
is Eddie. This has been News Across the Galaxy.
As
Consistent
always.
in 2024.
As always.
No, as always.
Oh,
Till next time.
until next time. Keep on nagging.
Keep on nagging. He knows the intro, Chewy.
Keep on that.
Bye, guys.